Your turn, honey.
In the one place in America where women still have a right to choose. You can vote any way you want. And no one will ever know.
Did you make the right choice?
Sure did, honey.
Remember, what happens in the booth stays in the booth. Vote Harris Walls. Vote Common Good is responsible for the contents of this ad.
Good morning, Owasso. And wow, talk about one of the strangest ads ever. It's like the implication of that ad is like all women are living under fear of an oppressive husband. Like, if my husband finds out who I voted for, he might beat me. Like, what is this? Like, is this really the strategy Democrats are going for? Like, in what world would a husband and wife not have political conversations? In what world would a husband and wife not know who they're voting for? I mean, is this just like some type of crazy, like, oh, we never talk to each other outside the dinner table. We both just go. Again, do Democrats just think husbands and wives are drones? Like, they just go to work, they come home, they mess with the kids, and they go to bed. It's like there's no interaction. There's no personal relationship between a husband and wife. That's crazy. That is an insulting advertisement for it. But, I mean, again, that's what they're trying to do. They're selling you fear. Trump is the hope. Obama was the hope and change candidate. Now Trump is the hope and change candidate. They're selling you fear. They're going, ladies, no one will ever know. You can vote for a woman and, like, your husband won't beat you for it because you don't have to tell him that you voted. I mean, it's ridiculous. That is the dumbest ad ever. I mean, I don't know. I guess that one white dude's voting for Kamala was pretty dumb. So, I mean, I don't know who is in charge of all these campaigns and how they're trying to spin this to make it cool, but, you know, the collective conscious of our society has kind of grown up, other than the people who are absolutely indoctrinated into the Democratic Party. That would be like, oh, yeah, that's a really cool trailer. You know, it's like, I mean, I don't know why, like, what's that cowboy actor's name? Sam Elliott?
Yeah, Sam Elliott, yeah.
Like, I don't know anyone who's going to look and be like, wow, Sam Elliott's voting for Kamala, so I think I should vote for Kamala. It's like, no. It's crazy. But, I mean, this is what Democrats think of you. This is what these people who put these ads together think of you. They're like, yeah, people are this dumb. They'll go for this. Ladies, I mean, every marriage is just a woman suffering in silence at the mercy of her husband. It's like that's not indicative of how reality is. But, you know, what do I know? I mean, maybe that's what it's like in Hollywood. Maybe that's what it's like in California. I don't know. I met some pretty well-adjusted California people, but, I mean, maybe they are just all suffering in silence over there. But I doubt it. So, anyway, dumb campaign ad, you know. So, again, they're selling you fear, and Trump is selling you hope. So, vote for whoever you want. But I would say, again, you going to vote for the hope and change candidate, or are you going to vote for the status quo? You're just going to watch them drive this country into the ground. But enough of that. Today's topic, Chad, what do we got, man?
Well, if you're watching and you can see the thumbnail over here, it's Kamala Harris refuses to go on Joe Rogan, so J.D. Vance accepts the offer. So he's basically taken her spot on the show, and it's very strange. Like, everyone, the left is trying to portray it off of her, her...
Joe Rogan back down.
It's her campaign staff being like, Joe Rogan's refusing, and that's not exactly what happened. We have Joe Rogan's tweet about it right here pulled up if you are watching, but if you're not, if you're just listening, I can read it out here for you. It says here, also, for the record, the Harris campaign has not passed on doing the podcast. They offered a date for Tuesday, but I would have had to travel to her, and they only wanted to do an hour. I strongly feel the best way to do it is in the studio in Austin. My sincere wish is to just have a nice conversation and get to know her as a human being. I really hope we can make it happen. So, I mean, right there, if you have ever seen the Joe Rogan Experience, I don't think I've ever seen a Joe Rogan episode that's not in his studio. I mean, I've seen him go on other people's podcasts, but if she's wanting to go on the Joe Rogan Experience and have a conversation, she needs to go to him. I mean, and she literally just did, it was me and Corey were just pointing out, she just did a podcast with
Michael Shannon.
Michael Shannon. Mm-hmm.
He's a guy that goes on ESPN. He's an ESPN, a big black former NFL player. He's on ESPN all the time, but he has his own podcast too. He has about 1.2 million subscribers.
Yeah,
from what we just checked.
1.3 subscribers from what I just checked. I'll pull it up here in a little bit. But Joe Rogan has over like 13 to 18 million. I'm sorry, I was going to say 1,000 million subscribers. So you can go on
18,
Michael Shannon's podcast, who has just barely 1 million, or who has 1 million. I'm going to say just barely. He has a little over 1 million subscribers. Or you could have gone on
Joe Rogan, who has 18 times that.
Exactly. So what are you doing? The logic behind that is so stupid, but we already know what it is. She only wants to go on friendly podcasts. She only wants to go on friendly podcasts.
The reason that she saw Joe Rogan come to me, she's like, her excuse is, I'm too busy, I can't come to you. Well, she can go to Michael Shannon's show, the Shay Shay podcast. But guess what? The reason she said no is because, one, Joe Rogan is going to have Jamie there, and he's going to be able to pull up whatever. He can fact check Kamala on the spot. They don't want that.
Yeah, they never fact check Kamala Harris. That's part of the problem. They never fact check her.
They also want to be able to control how they edit it. Because, like I said, look, if Joe Rogan does the show and he edits it and puts it together and just sends it out in its raw footage, Kamala's going to look like Kamala. Like it'll be unfiltered. They want to do it in a studio of their choosing so they can edit it and make Kamala and sound smarter when Joe asks her questions that she's not ready for.
And just for the record, we actually got it backwards. Michael Shannon has over 3.6 million subscribers to his channel, but her podcast only got 1 million, 1.2
wow,
million views.
That's sad.
Yeah.
I bet you.
So we got it backwards, but either way, it's like Trump has over almost 4. I just checked today. It's 39 million views on his podcast with Joe Rogan. 39 million. So he is just shy of 40 million views on the Joe Rogan podcast.
You could not, in your wildest dreams, hope to ever reach 39 million people with one video. That is absolutely insane.
Yeah, that's reaching a mass number of people. That is ridiculous. I mean, that's what they said. 1 million of viewers is hot on YouTube. 40 million is ridiculous.
Yeah. I can't imagine how much money Joe Rogan made off that video. That's insane.
Mm-hmm. But that's what's going on. So she'll go on these other podcasts. I mean, look at the ones she's been on. She's been on The Breakfast Club. She's been on the Michael Shannon or the Club Shay Shay.
Call her daddy.
Call her daddy. And that's about it. Like I said, Trump has been on Theo Vaughn. He has been on a bunch of the other ones. Like I think he's been on PBD, hasn't he? Has he?
I don't know if he's been on PBD.
He's been on the Timcast. He's gone and done, at least if he hasn't done like live streams with him, he's done like that meeting with the guy that gave him the Tesla, the Trump Tesla or whatever it was.
Aiden
I forget
Ross,
that guy's name.
He went and Aiden Ross came over and just kind of did a couple of TikTok interviews
but
with him.
He's been doing the podcast internet circuit for years because he finally figured out, don't do the mainstream media interviews because these people hate you and are actively doing things to make you look terrible. So what's he doing? He's going to the people. Mm-hmm. He's going to independent podcasts and journalists on YouTube or whatever else, Rumble, whatever.
Well,
Twitter,
no, and the beauty of it is these people come to him. He doesn't go to them. They come to him. It's like Aiden Ross is like, I want to give you this Cybertruck. I want to interview you. I want to be on a Twitch stream with you. Same with Theo Vaughn. It's like, I want you to come on my show. I want you to be a part of my show. And Kamala doesn't have that generic interaction with people. Like, people don't want to live stream with Kamala. Like, nobody thought about live streaming or Twitch streaming with a presidential candidate until Aiden Ross made the move to go do that with Donald Trump. And now they're trying to recapture that magic and fire, but it's all artificial. It's not real, and people can tell when it's fake. People can tell when it's not real. Like, Aiden Ross, whenever he did that little Twitch stream with Trump, like, it was genuine. It was kind of spontaneous. People knew it was a genuine thing. And again, every time they try to do a similar thing with Kamala, it's like, this is scripted. It's not real. It's not good. So, again, it's Kamala made a huge mistake. But again, maybe she didn't because, again, I don't think she could handle a raw, real conversation with somebody. I don't think she has that capability.
Mm-hmm. If you can't see it right now, but I just pulled up Joe Rogan's page, his Joe Rogan Experience. And as you can see here, 18 million subscribers. He has over 3.2 thousand videos. And then we can see down here, the Donald Trump podcast is right here. And if you can't see it, because the text probably is pretty small, he has 39 million views on it 4 days ago. So then I come over here to Club Shay Shay, and he's got 3.6 million subscribers, 2,500 videos. And then let's see here. Here's the Kamala Harris thing. Yeah, just right at 1.2 million views. What are you doing? What is she doing? She needs Joe Rogan more than Joe Rogan needs her. So that's what we were talking about too, is like, Joe Rogan Experience is the most popular podcast in the world, at least in the United States, but I would say probably in the world.
It's the world, yeah.
Yeah. So it's the most popular podcast in the world. So she needs those viewers. And she straight up just said in the last, like, candid thing where her and, what's her name, Gretchen Whitmer were hot micing, that she's losing the young male voter. Who's predominantly Joe Rogan audience? It's male.
Yeah. Well,
it's the male audience.
They can, I mean, but people can tell she's fake. And again, the more she talks, the less people like her, the less people believe her, and the less people want to vote for her. And that's just the truth. And they know that. So they cannot do the Joe Rogan podcast. That's the reason they did what they did. That's why they have to stick with these smaller podcasts, because they know that she's going to get softball questions there. They know that they're going to make deals with these podcasts. So it's like, you can have Kamala, but you have to ask these questions, or you can't ask these specific questions, and you have to ask these certain questions. So they know, and she's shooting herself in the foot here. But again, it's like, is it going to matter with all the illegal immigrants that are going to be attempting to vote this year?
Yeah. And speaking of illegal immigrants, that's one of the other things I'm just about to pull up right now. So
what a segue.
Yeah. Thank you. I try my best. But this is Elon Musk reposted this, but this is from Kanakoa the Great. Kanakoa the Great. I'm probably saying that name wrong. But let me check here and make sure this is in here right. Yep, it sure is. All right. So as you can see here, U.S. immigration under George W. Bush. It says lawful. It said the light blue is lawful residents, or lawful, people who are coming in legally.
Yeah.
And then we have the dark blue is people who are getting temporary visas, work status. And then red is illegal immigration. And as you can see, George W. actually had quite a bit of illegal immigration under his term.
Yeah.
But he starts to correct it at the very end.
Mm-hmm.
But as you can also see here, the lawful residents stay pretty consistent throughout this whole process. But the work visa ones go up and down. But the immigration goes high under W. Obama has a couple of spikes. Trump has a couple of spikes. But Biden's is just up the wall. And you can see here, W. Bush, except his is an 8-year term because he was double term president. So he had just shy of 10. So he had 9.8 million. Obama had 7.9 million. Trump only had 3 million. And then Biden, 10.4 million. And those are just the projections that we have as of now, of whenever this was done. So
that's
God
what they
knows
think. I mean, the real numbers could be way worse. Way worse.
Absolutely.
Because if they come here legally, how do we know that they're actually here? These are just projected numbers. Sad, scary, but here we are.
Yeah. Said some where they keep saying it could be closer to 11 to 12 million at this point.
Yeah. Again, I mean, whenever I was talking to like my liberal college friends, the best thing I could do, like, if you want people to understand the harsh reality of the border crisis, like they have to view it through the lens of fiction. So I remember Sicario came out, the original Sicario, and I remember watching it. I was blown away by it. I thought it was a fantastic story, fantastic movie, and like it was eye-opening for how dangerous the border was. And I remember I was talking to a bunch of friends. They go, "Oh, the border's not that big of a deal." I was like, "If you don't think the border's that big of a deal, you should watch Sicario. That's a small little taste of what it's like." And then eventually I went back and they go, "Wow, that movie Sicario was crazy. I can't believe some of that was real." I was like, "Yeah, a lot of that was like real footage that they used. Like, I mean, like it's crazy." or they, it's not real footage, but they took they recreated real, like, photos of what life is like in Juarez and near the border. And I was like, yeah, pretty crazy, huh? So again, people, especially liberals or people on the left, it's like if they don't see it through the lens of fiction, if it's not shown through a Hollywood story, they just won't believe it. It's like you could show them a million pictures of people crossing the border and they go, yeah, that's probably not that as bad as you guys are making it out to be. And it's like, but it can be. But you just don't want to see it because, again, out of sight, out of mind. So, anyway, what other information did you have there, partner?
Well, more memes, but our buddy Case just sent us guess he's doing early voting right now.
Mm-hmm.
So today's early voting day. If you all want to get out and do that, I highly recommend it. And make sure you're voting for the candidate that's pro-America, I would say.
Yeah.
And so there's only one.
Okay. So what about this whole, so it's early voting day,
Yeah.
so that's all he wanted to say?
Oh, yeah, he just texted me a video of him at his, I guess he's at his little station wherever he is right now.
So he'd probably be at the same place we go vote, more than likely.
I think. I don't know. But anyway, I'll go on to the next thing that I had, which I just pulled this back up from yesterday because I just find this so...
Donations by, yeah.
Was like the donations of this. And like everyone's like, all of these politicians are, owned by their donors. I'd say, and if you're looking at, if he's bought and paid for, Trump probably could donate more to his own campaign than most of his highest donations that he's received.
Yeah.
Whereas Kamala Harris is definitely owned by
Google.
at least Google and Microsoft for sure. So Bill Gates and I don't know who's the CEO of Google now. It's like
I don't know.
Sundar
Pichai or something like that.
I think you're right. Yeah, she's bought and paid for by these people. And again, remember how we talked about how the left is all about trying to control big tech industries so that way they can censor people. I mean, this is why. But they're all in with each other because at the moment that they're afraid that when a Republican gets into office and they like either
start removing their protections under the what is that law? But it's like, are you a publisher or a platform? It's like all these social media platforms go, well, we're platforms, but they also moderate what is published. I mean, as I said, the censoring of the Hunter Biden story.
Yeah.
Conservatives being shadow banned on Facebook. Again, on Facebook, we aren't growing on Facebook anymore because Facebook doesn't like the stuff that we talk about. They don't like anything negative about Kamala. They actively stop people or downvote people who talk about Kamala in a negative way.
They shadow ban people. They're still shadow banning people for talking negatively about Kamala. I mean, the James O'Keefe thing, the James O'Keefe interview where they interview those two guys, they're like, oh, yeah, we actively have censors on anybody that's negative against Kamala Harris right now.
Yeah, I mean, we showed you that video. I mean, those are actual people that work there. It's James O'Keefe exposing all of these, low-tier or, mid-tier workers at Facebook, at Google. And I don't know what else you want. I mean, I guess if you're on the Democrat side, you go, well, it doesn't matter because, again, if you're a Democrat, the ends justify the means. It doesn't matter if the truth gets out there. It just matters that we win. The truth is power.
100%. Let me see if I've got anything else. I have a few other things still queued up. I can.
Yeah.
This one's just all around funny. So if you're watching, you can read it for yourself. But for most of you who are listening, it's a meme of Joe Biden, and he's saying, inflation is not that high. And then it's right below him, it's a picture of his son, Hunter.
Cracked out in a
it
bathtub.
says inflation, and he is all like
he's
drugged
very
out.
high.
Meaning, for those of you who aren't, meme inclined, it means it is very high. The inflation is very high.
Very high, bro.
But that's just another funny one that we had that just made me laugh, so I thought I would pull that up. Then there's these that you sent me, and oh yeah, I guess I could pull up more images of that Tony Hinchcliffe thing. But you guys remember when we played the Tony Hinchcliffe opening at the Trump rally?
He told he told a joke that didn't get a lot of laughs. It was a joke about Puerto Rico being an island of trash. Obviously it's a joke. It's a joke. He's roasting everyone. So, but anyway, it didn't get a lot of laughs at the rally. So Democrats are basically saying, well, since Tony Hinchcliffe made that joke, this is indicative of Trump and all of his followers. You know, it's, again, if we were going to use that same logic against Democrat, well, isn't T. Diddy was a huge advocate for the Democratic Party. P. Diddy and all of his actions are endemic of all Democrats and the Democratic
and
Party.
all the people who are supporting Kamala Harris are also happen to be people who went to all these P. Diddy parties. So
yeah, all these celebrities that are voting Kamala, like, no, they were all like, I mean, even Drake was like, I'm not political. I'm not going to come out and support a candidate. And all of a sudden, after Diddy got the Diddy charge came out, and the list of all the guests at his parties were starting to come out, it's like, I'm voting for Kamala Harris now. I wonder why. Is it because Kamala Harris is going to run cover for all the celebrity degeneracy that they were a part of at Diddy's parties?
Mm-hmm. But I'll go ahead and read this real quick.
Go ahead.
It's the
Beta
it's the
soy
liberal
boy.
beta meme, and it says, "Honey, bring your boyfriend in here. We got a comedian at Trump's rally made a dark joke about Puerto Rico. We got him now." He's wearing a White Dudes for Harris hat. Oh.
We got him now. Oh, that's so good. But yeah, that is I mean, that's what they do.
That is a Kamala Harris voter.
I mean, that's what they do. They sit there and they go, "Oh yeah, he's so bad. Trump is so evil. Like this is it. This is the thing that we finally get him on. You know, like, so dumb."
Well, it's also the Democrats seem to be the party of the nanny state again. It's like, you can't make those jokes. Whereas, like, if you literally see Tony Hinchcliffe, that's his name, Hinchcliffe, makes that joke about Puerto Rico, which he's a roast comic. That's what he does. Nobody is safe from him. Doesn't matter your race, origin, gender,
what
whatever.
country you're from. He'll roast your country. He'll roast your continent. He'll roast whatever.
Yeah, which I'll try to find it here in a minute. But George Lopez was at the DNC rally at, like, Phoenix or whatever, and then he was like, he made a joke that was literally, hey, if you're actually going to build that wall, better not leave those materials there overnight. We don't know what's going to happen to them.
Implying that Mexicans will steal them.
Exactly. He said he made a Mexican joke, and there were no boos there. Everyone laughed. But, I mean, that's just as racy as the frickin' Puerto Rico
and it's
island
implying all
trash.
Mexicans are thieves by nature. It's like, well, I mean, all Mexicans are thieves, so why wouldn't we steal Trump's border supplies? Sell them on the black market. Why not? So again, just dumb. Like, if liberals didn't have double standards, they'd have no standards. Mm-hmm. But I mean, they don't. I mean, like I said, they want to put trannies in class. They want to have dudes playing in women's sports. They want to have trannies do twerk shows at public schools. They don't have standards. Their morality is just solely based on what the next progressive dogma is.
Yep.
So, I don't know.
Next one I have pulled up here is one that you sent me. And Joe Biden from 3 months ago versus now said Democrats are the party that said we need peace and unification, and then this happens. So here's Joe Biden 3 months ago, and then what he's saying today.
In this moment, we can see those we disagree with not as enemies, but as fellow Americans. Can we do that? The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters. His demonization of Tina is unconscionable, and it's un-American. In this moment, we can see.
Well, how the turntables have turned.
Quoting Michael Scott there. I see.
Yeah, well, yeah. But, I mean, again, they just attack. You know, there is no morality, there is no logic, there is no consistency to anything that they say. It's just whatever's politically convenient at the time is what I will say. That's Joe Biden.
Mm-hmm.
That's been Joe Biden his entire career. I mean, he would not have stepped down if he was not proven to be mentally not all there. And again, he doesn't look all there when he said that. He's clearly reading a script.
Yep. This next one I have pulled up here is, again, similar to like all those ones we've shown of, Mom, I'm afraid that I'm going to get drafted for World War III. He says, stop being such a bigot, sweetie. It's time for a female president. Mm-hmm. And it's this one. It's a single issue voter thing, which it's really single women. This is the only issue that the only hill that they want to die on.
Single liberal women, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like, and it says it's a meme of
The world's on fire.
yeah, the Doge dog, and the world looks like a nuclear warhead's going off, and there's a Kamala Harris Walls 2024 sign right there. And she goes, I know this looks bad, but at least I can still get an abortion.
Yes, at least you can still get an abortion. At least you can still make a selfish decision and arbitrarily dictate what constitutes life based on personal convenience for yourself. It's just it's so wrong. You know, again, hold on. Let me get on to a guy that we went to OCS with. Just a post. He made a post not too long ago. I want to see if I can find it. Dang it, Coleman, where did your post go? I'll look him up. Jonathan Coleman.
But yeah,
Hey, there he is. Hold on.
there you found it.
Yes, view story. Okay, reasons women undergo abortions. Having a baby would dramatically change my life. 74%. 73%. I can't afford a baby right now. 48%. Don't want to be a single mother or have relationship problems. 38%. Have completed my childbearing. I don't get what that one means. But then again, 1%. These are the statistics. Rape victims are 1% of abortions. Pregnancy as a result of incest, less than 0.5%. Again, they always argue the rule, like they always argue the outlier, not the rule. Vast majority of abortions are carried out for why? Out of personal reasons, out of selfish reasons, because I don't want to own up to my mistake. I don't want to live with the results of the choice I made. And like I said, literally 1% of all abortions are due to rape. Why? Why are we saying why? So we're going to justify the 1% and say we need to make a law based on that. It's like, no, man. The vast majority of them are just, and the vast majority of people who've had abortion, multiple women, the vast majority of women have had multiple abortions who have abortions. So it's crazy, the number. So it just that needs to stop. That is the greatest evil that we are allowing to happen in our society. It's sad. Yeah, what else you got, man?
Well, I was trying to find that George Lopez thing, but everything keeps pulling up is just pulling up the Tony Heathcliff thing.
Yeah.
Oh, here it is. Just found it. Let me pull it up real quick. All right, give me 1 second here.
Oh, yeah, you're going to show the hypocrisy.
Mm-hmm.
Donald Trump said he was going to build a wall, and George Lopez said, you better build it in one day, because if you leave that material out there overnight. Donald Trump said he was going to build.
So, superpose that with Tony Heathcliff. What's the difference? I guess because George Lopez happens to be
Hispanic.
I mean,
It's okay when again, it's okay when I disparage my my own culture, but you know, like we can't have people point jokes and laugh at other people's cultures. You know, it's like, I mean, thank goodness, you know, what's his name, the best roast comedian of all time, Don Rickles.
Yeah.
Thank God he's not alive anymore. Like the greatest roast comedian ever, and he wouldn't have been able to make a living in this modern time we live in.
I've got the Tony Heathcliff one again. If you want me to play it
you
again.
can play it.
Guys, but I think that Travis Kelce might be the next O.J. Simpson. Feels good in here. The other side's got a lot of crazy endorsements. Swift, Eminem, Leo DiCaprio, Beyonce. Every day the Democratic Party looks more and more like a P. Diddy party. Oh, okay. Hillary Clinton said that this is a Nazi rally here today. Can you believe that? For the most anti-war president of my entire lifetime, and she calls him Hitler. Let me remind you, Hillary, it was your husband who shot innocent people, or as he called them, interns. Yeah, Hillary, I bet you did not see that one coming. By the way, if I commit suicide in 3 weeks, I didn't.
Yeah, we'll just let that go. But yeah, like, I don't see the issue. It's like he says one thing about Puerto Rico, who he doesn't leave. You know, I'd say leaving people out of your roast makes you, you know, more of a racist than anything else.
It's like, oh, they can't take it. They can't take it. Sorry.
Yep.
Yep. Oh, you know, I might try to send you this meme really quick before we close out. It's
What meme?
It's a meme that I posted to it's on my story through Instagram. I'll try to send it to you.
Well, you better send me the whole thing.
Oh, I will. Here we go. Found it.
All right, I'm
I wish there was
pulling
a way
back
for
up.
me to. I don't think I'm actually going to be able to send it to you
No.
because it's like the like the I don't even know how to describe it here. I mean, I'll show you. It's this one right here. Can you see that?
And pretend to be women. When kids pretend to be Native
Yeah.
Americans on Halloween.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
the
That's
liberal
a good
double
one.
standard there. You
Mhm.
know, so.
Oh, you can hold it up to the camera. I think they should probably pick it up.
You
if
think
you,
so?
Yeah, I think we would pick that up. Let me make sure I'm on you. If you want to show it real quick, but
It's gonna be tough, but if you can see that,
yeah, it's hard to see because it's all white. But
Yeah.
I can see it partially
Mhm.
in the screen right here.
yeah, that's a good meme.
That is a good meme.
Anyway, but that's about all we've got yet for you today. So remember, early voting starts today here in Oklahoma. So get out there, go vote. You know, you don't have to vote for the guy that we want to win, but I highly suggest you do if you want to save the country, in our opinion. But yeah, go exercise your right to vote. And I would say this, if you are uneducated, uninformed, and you don't know what the issues are, especially here in the state and local politics, I would say don't vote. Don't go out there and vote. You know, it's like you were talking how you were at the DMV the other day, and there was a teacher who, you were talking about a
I
teacher
think
who,
he was retired, but yeah, it was a former
a teacher would go and bus his kids to the voting polls. I mean, which sounds like a really great thing, but it's like, how educated are these kids on the issues that they're going to vote for? You know, it's like that old sentiment of, yeah, we want as many kids going out there and rocking the vote. It's like, no, I want educated people going out and
I knew
voting.
nothing of politics when I was 18 years old. Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, that's the thing. That's why, again, we've already had an episode about this, too, is Democrats cater to low-information voters. And who is the most low-information voters than, like, 18 to, you know, college to high school level kids?
Yeah.
I didn't care about politics when I was in high school and college. Didn't give two craps about it. The only politics that I really got through was I talked to my parents about it. If it wasn't for my parents telling me things about who I should vote for,
Or
and
what
I
policies that got put in place that affected their business and how harshly the taxes would affect them. It's like, oh, okay, I get that. It's going to hurt us as business owners. It's going to hurt you guys in your ability to earn an income.
Yep.
That's not good,
Yep.
you know. So
It's going to affect our livelihood and being like a middle class to, I mean, because I'd say we probably went from like upper middle class family through the Obama era down to like more of a just standard middle income to lower income family. So, because I remember like in the 90s,
was the
we were
heyday.
doing good. Yeah, we. So I'd say that was probably like our parents' most successful years was
And
probably
again,
in the 90s.
the Democrats would say, hey, well, that's because your parents were, again, like, I mean, I had this conversation, like, well, if your parents were doing good in the 90s, they couldn't do well under Obama. It's probably because they were cheating their employees out of, like, benefits. And it's like, no, they actually had good benefits for their employees. They had they had better healthcare plans put together. And then the government came in and mandated it and said, you also have to add these particular items to healthcare. And then they made it damn near unaffordable for people to insure their employees. Small businesses, you know, it's like, and when everyone says businesses, they're talking like huge, like mega corporations. Like, no, we're talking about local mom and pop shops who big businesses can't afford to insure a lot of their people and can't afford to give their people certain benefits. Now, local mom and pop shops can't. It's like you have two choices. We're either going to have to let a bunch of people go or we're just going to downsize and the company's going to close.
Yep.
That's it. That is the cutthroat nature of business.
So unfortunately, most of the policies that Democrats advocate for employees kills small businesses. Only massive corporations can survive these mandates that they make employers have to carry for their employees. And that's the sad reality. And like that's the thing, the Democrats are pro big business. They are not pro small business. They are pro big business with their mandates on how employers have to insure or health care
or
whatever their
they
employees.
pass laws or legislation that make it. I mean, in fact, corporations are like, good. The more roadblocks we put up, the harder it's going to be for a small business to come up and compete with us.
Exactly right.
So anyway, but we'll go ahead and end the show. So this is the Twins with the Owasso Live. This was the Morning Loop. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you too can stay in the loop. We're going to end it with a funny, weird, another out-of-touch Democrat
Commercial,
ad campaign.
yeah.
Very strange. Very strange. So be prepared for it. But that's about all I've got for you today. God bless you.
Yeah, and just I'll do a real quick touch on is like it's like men being able to control their bodies, like, and how if conservatives were like for men for women, or if they were using the control your own body argument for men the way that they use it for women, is like it doesn't make any sense because no guy wants to be this kid in the thing. The goal is to get a woman so you don't have to worry about doing what this kid's doing in this video.
Yeah.
No kid, no man, no sane man wants to be the kid in this video. That makes you a loser.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. So, yeah.
Anyway, that's it, and we will see you later, everybody.
Oh! Sorry, you can't do that.
What the hell, man? How'd you get in here?
I'm your Republican congressman. Now that we're in charge, we're banning porn nationwide.
You can't tell me what to do. Get out of my bedroom, you creep.
I won the last election, so it's my decision. I'm just gonna watch and make sure you don't finish illegally.